and gentlemen, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my shop. My name is Keith. I'm your host today. Alright, what we have in here on the sawhorses is a project we're going to get started on. And by unanimous vote of my 25 viewers that I have on Facebook, they took a vote and said, hey, let's do a video on this. Of course, I posted some pictures of the damage as far as some still shots before we start whittling away on this. This is a adapter for skid steer. There's all different styles and types, and this happens to be an older model and not available anymore, so we're told. And we're going to go ahead, and we agreed upon a couple different things on what we're actually doing to this. And this is made up of a wedge at the top here, a couple handles that come down and actuate these wedge style locking pins at the bottom. But what we're working on, those things are fine. We might do a little bit of adjustment on the linkage here for them or whatever. We'll see as we're putting it together. We're going to be pulling all of that off before we actually start deciphering and cutting away what we need to replace here. The backside is our concern, and it has two main pivots, and then it has a actuating cylinder mount. This particular adapter here has only got one cylinder controlling it, not dual cylinders like some of the newer models. So, and you can see by the condition that I received it in that it's been a poor marriage. Operator that's been asking her to do too much and not giving her enough lube. I mean, that's pretty much maintenance. Even bushings that normally go in here, like we have some, you can see that they actually have enough wall thickness to where if you're doing a little bit of visual checkup on you would kind of know that you were getting out past the bearing, you think? Alright, and here's the pin here that goes into the cross member here. Also, this has been stressed out so much that it actually has a crack right along this weld all the way down here and penetrates somewhat into the main web. And we're going to be pulling that off of there, and we're going to be V'ing that completely out and getting down to the nitty-gritty on that. We're going to fabricate two new ears. There'll be two bosses that go along with this, and we're not going to remove these ears. We believe there's probably a partial bushing in that one. We're going to knock it out, and we're going to see how much of the original hole we have left on that. Make a decision on what we're going to actually do to that one. But this one here has got enough material gone. We're going to clean up the bore, meaning bare clean metal. Get in there with a grinder rotary burr. We'll face off all this raised metal off of here on this outside here. And then we're going to weld build this ear to where we can go ahead and reclaim a bore by machining. So there's the general scope of what this job's going to be. So let's get to it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull off these two assemblies on both sides here. And Okay, this one here is a little rough, a little peeled out on the threads there, just because that was hammered on there. All right, the linkage here, the other side has got a little bit bigger piece. This one here has been shortened a little bit. The bores look pretty good on this dog link right here, this dog bone. All right, we're going to go ahead and put that. We want to lift that off and kind of mark it how it goes. And let's pull off the handle bolt here now. If this comes out, there we go. Okay, and that's pretty much a boss that sticks up there. I don't know if this comes out this way or if it has to go out that way. Might have to go out that way. Nope. Okay. I'm going to check that out. Hopefully that's not a piece that's just solid in there. There we go. A little bent up, mushroomed on the sides there. Does have a little bit of a spring here for the latching, and it's got a little bend here. We'll be comparing one side to the other side. Okay, now this side has that little bit longer piece here. This is bent over. I don't know if that's supposed to be bent over to protect it or whatever. This is bent on that pull up with no nut on it. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and see if we can pull the main bolt out and see if the whole thing will just lift up on over it. There we go. That bolt was bent so bad. So we'll leave that like that because we're going to decipher that. We're going to probably press this out straight and we're going to cut a new one on the plasma cutter there. Alright. This piece should just lift out just like the other. Less mushrooming on the other. Spring looks good. This is straight in the middle, bent at the end. The other one is bent here but straight on the end. So we'll be pressing that out. I believe those are supposed to be straight in a line. Okay. So the locking mechanism has been removed and we'll dress those up on the reassembly. The next thing I want to do is burn these two ears off of here, but we do have to take some dimensions so we know where they go, and we need to create a pattern, and I want to burn out a sample of our pattern out of some 12 gauge so that I got it up in here and I can see that we got the curve, the shape, and everything else to correspond. Now this is basically just an angle between here and there with a nice radius, and then this shape right here just kind of comes over so it contours the bore, the pivot right here, the backside of this with minimum amount of stick out, so it gives it a little bit more strength. And these are really just kind of like ears with bosses on the outside, welded on the outside, and then a bushing that goes through the center of it. All right. I think we got all of our supplies now. We got a piece of manila paper, just happens to be a Turner Steel type of calendar, and we can use this here. We're just making sure that our paper hangs out over each half or each side of our ear here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on there like that. This is a 2-inch parallel, and we want to be able to pick up this angle here and this angle here. And we'll be able to hold that in position and draw kind of the line we need in that direction, and we'll be able to get this one here in this direction here. And this is going to start us off with those two angles. They actually are less than 90 degrees. Okay, and this one here, I have to hold it up just a little bit because this lip right here, this doesn't let me come in past it. So this lip right here, kind of like that right there. We can adjust this as it goes. Okay, now we're going to be able to extend that out. That we're going to make a good guesstimate on this radius right here, and then we're going to do a test fit, and then we'll be able to lower this down slowly until we get it to hug this back here. Then we'll go ahead and we'll trace out the ear on the other side, and then cut it, and we'll have our pattern. We took our ruler, extended this line out, and laid out until we came outside of it so that we're coming out to the outer side of the material here. 1 inch spacing there. We did 1 inch here. Come out pretty close to the edge of the paper here. We know that we're going to be outside this. We looked at that radius right there, and we kind of guesstimated it about like that. So we have a radius drawn in. Now we're going to cut it with the scissors. We're going to see how we look sitting down in here. Okay, we separated our part on the line there, our drawing on the line, and I'm curving up the bottom ends here so that we don't have to really worry about that. We're just kind of looking at the angle. The angle actually looks pretty good, but it looks like we're a little bit large on our radius, so we can find something just a little bit small and sharpen that radius, and this will sit down in there a little better. It's not much. Okay, you can see it's about 1/8 of an inch. And this radius difference was almost 3/8 of an inch, half an inch smaller diameter of round that we had. So we got it to, because we kind of looked at that as 1/8 of an inch gap on these two flats. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I think that looks right on the money. I like that. That's going to be good enough. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to clamp that up in the spot there, and then we're going to run these two down. We're going to kind of push them down into this corner down in here and over here past this point here. And then we'll be able to kind of create that outside cut with how it's going to look in here where that weld is. I got a screwdriver here, and I'm just kind of like, I'm going to push that down in there like that. Just kind of giving it a little force into that corner of that weld. And it pretty much creates that little radius right there. Okay, and see what we got over here. We just know it's going to end about right there. All right, now on the back side we can go ahead and do our tracing. So I'm going to come around on the other side here and very carefully give this a tracing here. All right, let's go ahead and pull that off of there and cut it, and we'll see what we got. All right, you can see the tracing we made on this side here. Comes right down to that edge. There's where that line comes up, okay? And then this line here was where we marked, and it's right there, right there. Good marks. All right, let's cut that out. Let's see what our piece looks like. Now we can't squeeze it into that. That wall bead is 3/8 of an inch out for sure. So we can just kind of put it down in here and look at it on the curve. That looks good there. That looks good there. This looks like we got plenty of material around here. I think we're good to go. We're going to put this in the scanner, and we're going to scan this shape and then bring it into the Design Edge software on the plasma cam. Okay, we're just taking our regular top scanner here. We took a Sharpie and we darkened the whole pattern out. We're going to lay it down on here and we're going to scan it to our little USB port here. Alright, we're going to put it on that Lexor there. Now we're going to scan it to our memory device, and we're going to scan it as a JPEG color. Alright. And that's going to be scanned at 0019 JPEG. Alright, cool. Now we're going to go ahead, we're going to take our device and plug it into the computer with the plasma cam. Let's pull our shape off our paper here. Alright, that's what we're cutting out. Let's go ahead and put our memory device in here and plug that in. Okay. And HP scans, and this was 19, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to move that. We're going to open it with Adobe. Alright, and we're going to just save it as a bitmap, and it's going to be in our desktop, and that's where we're going to save it. Alright, now we can just kind of fold this down. We can do away with that. This window here just happens to be some of our artwork we're doing, and we have a giant cutout there, so we can lay a piece of material up there and cut a sample out. So we're just going to import that shape into here, and there's our desktop, and we just need to look for our bitmap, and it's right there. Alright, show it in the drawing, and black and white. We can change it to black and white. Alright, we hide the white as the background. Next, we want solid. Next, and it creates our pattern. And this pattern is on our tabletop, and that's the picture. There's without the picture. Picture without. Now this line here was the edge of a sheet, and we don't need that. All we need is this right here, and we're going to move it to there. Then we can go ahead and we can work on that shape itself. Now we'll go ahead and we'll kind of dress it up on the ends, the line, the curve. All of those areas right there will bring it out to a smooth. It actually had a little hole right here in the paper that we traced on. See, that was where you hung this. And so we'll have to push that out a little bit and kind of straighten out the rest of these curves here. So we're going to smooth that up and get it ready for a test cut. Just a tiny bit right there, and we just kind of smooth those out a little bit. We look at this. There we go. Up here. And I kind of like that. Okay, I think we have a shape that we can go ahead and create a cutout. So we hit convert to cut, And I don't know where we're going to start it. Let's start it down here. There we go. Okay, we're going to marry those. And all right, I think we got the shape, and we can put a piece of material up here on the table. Okay, pull our template off of the table. Let's go. Let's see how we do. All right, let's go see how it looks on there. Whoa, hallelujah. That's looking pretty darn sweet right there. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. See, this would be a wall fillet over the top of this. We kind of decided to cut that tail off of there. We gave a good look at that weld was over here. That's actually what finishes off that radius right there. And this just comes right on down and rolls right to there. This could actually be shortened a little bit too, because the weld's going to fill in on the end. All right, but this really looks good here. We like that. Because if this was bent up, this would be going down just a little bit. Well, I think we've got it nailed down pretty darn close. Okay. When we come back, we're going to be cutting this out of 1-inch material, and we're going to be torching off these 2 ears right here. We still got dimensions to take, but we need to get those off of there. We need to get that cleaned up, and we need to get these burned out. One of the best ways to record things nowadays, and I'm using this ear over here because we're not going to remove that, and that's a nice square surface. So what I'm trying to do is get this side, that side, that side, that side. So you get 4 measurements for 2 parts. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I record it in a photo, and then I'm going to write this down. So we're 18 3/4, 19 3/4, 22 3/4, 23 3/4. Here's our template right here, and we're going to be cutting that out in about that position. Pierce is going to start here at the edge, 1/4 inch off the part itself, and it's going to come along this back side. The reason why we don't use an existing edge or whatever is because we want the same cut contour so that we have the same finish. This is a prior cut right here, pretty clean. Now I'm going to preheat this a little bit before we cut it, so it's not stone cold. Okay, let's give it a shot here. 60 amps, 5 inches per minute, and then we'll increase it as needed. All right. It's expanded just a little bit in there. The heat's kind of holding it in place. All right, we're going to set up our next part. And we're going to think a little bit more about not having that last stretch right there. This kind of let that part rotate that way. Not bad, but you're probably fine. It's got enough material there. There's plus on the material. All right, let's see. If we went like this, right there, and we started that in that corner right there, I think we're going to be setting pretty good. Let's check that out. All right, I think we'll go ahead and we'll pop the torch off here, and we're going to put it in the hand mode. I'm going to go ahead and nip through this thin area right here and right across the back side over here, and then those two parts should be able to break free without any or too much effort. Okay. All right. We pop that off. And we pop that free. Pop it in bypass. All right, now we're ready to go. Let me get my hood. Okay, are we ready? Let's get a little draft here. We're just gonna put one of them on. The other one's pretty noisy. little hammer. Okay, we got our pry bar so we can lift up a little bit. I think she's just pretty much just laying flat, and that's what she's doing. There we go. The dross that hangs off the bottom is pretty thick, but the cut looks good. Now here's our cut that was a little bit funky on that outside. We'll be able to grind that a little bit. All right, now we'll go for this other one here. This is our first one. There we go. We'll knock off that dross. That outside curve looks pretty good. We got our pork chops over here. They're just kind of what they look like to me. Alright. Now this is just the outside, or the bottom side dross here. Comes out pretty easy. Just like that. There we go. And actually this rugged side is actually higher. It's higher than this front cut, and this front cut looks pretty good. So that is going to shape off really nice. All right, let's let them cool down a little bit, and then we're going to go check them, check the fit on the part before we cut the original ones off. We got both of them in here side by side. They're slightly cooled down, but they'll hold up. Okay, I think I got them sitting in there pretty good. All right. Okay, there'll be a little weld in here. The bottom can be adjusted a little bit there. So this really is good. There's plenty of material in all the way around here. It really shows that we did good. Nice shape. So we have two ears that are going to replace these two ears here without any problems. So we're going to set these up now. We're going to drill a pilot hole through those, and we're going to get this set up so we can torch these off. We'll probably be doing that outside tomorrow.